PJ, nice to have you back on the podcast. How you doing?
Of course, yeah, I'm great. How are you?
No, good, good. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. It's uh, it's been a while since we did the podcast, isn't it? Like I think last time it was like gotta be 4 months ago, 5 months ago, perhaps.
Yes,
Four.
it has.
Oh, time.
I think when I released it, when I released our interview,
Mm,
it was early. Like
yeah.
I'm at episode 12 now on my podcast, and it
Oh,
was
that's
way before
awesome.
that. But you're at episode what episode will this be?
Uh, about 115, I think, but I've got other ones to publish as well, so I'm probably about 120 something now.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
No. Cheers, man. But I see that you've been busy on the music side of things, haven't you? Because I remember, like, when we last
Yes,
spoke, you was talking
yes,
about your friends and artists, and you're kind of helping. You're like managing him, and kind of getting out there. How's that been?
yes, yes. It's been hard and busy, but I like it a lot. And we have a new song coming, Psycho.
Nice. Yeah.
So
So your the music is
17th.
like 17.
What were you saying?
So it's like the kind of the music your friend does is like hip hop, isn't it? Like rap.
Yeah. It's alternative hip hop, so it's a very new genre that is super popular right now, which is hip hop, heavily
Mm.
influenced by alternative rock from like the 2000s.
Wow.
So it has a lot of guitar and a lot of similarities with like emo rock,
Mm.
like Green Day and MCR, those type of
Yeah.
people, which is
Awesome.
surprising because when hip hop first started, or even like 10 years ago, you would have never thought that those two genres would blend, but they blended and they blended very, very well. And so now
Yeah.
it's common to have guitar in almost every hip hop song.
Yeah, I've noticed that massively. Like I told you before, I'm like a fan of Oliver Tree when he was doing music, and like a lot of his music is like rap, but there is like a lot of guitar and
Yeah,
bass.
oh, he has
And
a lot of elements of rock.
yeah, and it's like really interesting to see that blend of the two, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but if you really think of it, it's not that far out because if rap was to combine with any genre, I mean, they all seem unlikely. I guess electronic music seems like it could go with it well, but rock was chosen to be the one that successfully
Mm.
melded with hip hop.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cause I saw like the Blink. One of Blink 182 songs. I think at the end it's called "The End" or something like that. Oh no,
I
no,
don't
not Blink
know.
182. Not Blink 182. Linkin Park. Linkin Park did a song
Yeah,
called "The End," and they kind of incorporated like kind of rap into like one of their songs.
yeah,
But I think the amazing thing with music, there's like an unlimited field of what's the word? Unlimited field of like where areas you can kind of go down, isn't there? It's this open space where you can just play around and experiment.
yes, yes. But yeah, it's like it's like a dartboard, and there are rings, and yes, you could throw a dart and hit the dartboard, and that's music. But if you really want to have your music be something and be popular, you have to get in the center couple of rings. And that's not saying you can't be an outlier, right, and still be popular and make music that is very different. But
Mm,
there are certain, like, I guess I would call them theoretical genres of music that
mm,
everybody knows are possible, but they're just not commercially viable right now.
yeah.
Like until very recently, do you know hyperpop?
No.
It is high auto-tune, bunch of high-pitched sounds, a lot of distorted sounds, electronic things. If you played it to someone in 30 years ago, they would have said, oh, this is alien music, right? And
Right.
so even though it existed then, because, you know, it was used to kind of make fun of music or make music that didn't sound regular, slowly it has become a real genre of music. So that area of the dartboard was expanded into that
Mm.
genre that had existed but wasn't really possible to profit off of until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Like it's like how music can kind of like change, isn't it? And you know, things that were maybe not so popular back then are more popular now. And even how like some old music is very, very popular now. You know, with like, you know, the younger generation, like older
Well, yeah.
bands and
Once
things like
once you
that.
expand into an area of the dartboard, I mean, it kind of remains there forever. Whether it still might be hard to make music like that, but it's still accepted because it's done. It's been done before.
Mm. Yeah, no, exactly. Because I find it really like, you know, motivating and inspiring that, you know, that you're taking this leap into this field. Because I remember like when we last spoke, you know, you're talking about, you know, your age and things like that, and you're not, you know, you're just doing something that you know, you're passionate about, and you know, you're going in there, and you know, you've been doing really well with, you know, your community that you do it with, because you're artist crepe. That's it, right? You like
Yes.
got some really good content I saw on your socials, and like you did a music video recently as well. Like I saw you like snippet,
Yeah. Hmm.
and I think like you
Well,
know you're playing around and being creative, and you know it's really good to see.
thank you. Yeah. And I mean, usually people would just look at me and say, "Oh, that must be hard doing it when you're 16." But I used to think that. I don't really think that anymore. The
No,
the only problem is obviously some people will not take me seriously if I'm 16. No matter what I do. No matter if I was a million times richer and famous than certain people, they would think, "Oh, he's 16. He
yeah,
can't
yeah,
do anything."
yeah. But
But
like, I mean, sorry,
then you realize that I might have more experience than some people who are 28 and just decided to start making music. I've been doing it for longer than them, even though I'm close to half their age.
mm, no, definitely, and it gives you that advantage as well because you've got that time, and you know you be say you're doing it at 16, 17. Like in the
Oh
next
yeah,
10 years, in the next 10 years, you'll be 26. You'll be my age in 10 years, and you
yes.
know you've
And
got that time and
when
experience
I'm
against
when
you.
I'm 18, like when I'm at the legal age that I should technically start doing things like signing and writing contracts, which now I use legal co-signers and things like that. I will have 6 years of experience
Mm.
almost. So I can't wait until I'm 50 and say, oh, I have, what is it, 38 years of experience, and I see the gears turning in their head like, what is he talking
Yeah,
about? How? So
yeah,
that is my dream, and that's why I'm very grateful that I started as early as
yeah,
I did.
yeah. No, I agree, and I think like you're just like you know being genuine and being yourself, and you're not like trying too hard. Do you know what I mean? Like and trying to prove anything. You're just doing what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
feel is right. You know.
Well, that's influenced by Gary Vee. Uh, try to be humble, and I try to show honestly what I'm doing and who I am and the stuff I post because I mean, when I'm 16, I can't really hide the fact that I'm 16. So if I'm honest and genuine, that's how I can really get people to take me seriously.
Mm.
Because it would not work if I never showed my face. I was like, I'm 20 and I've done everything. And I also really hate people that do that, that just lie about stuff and act more serious and official than they actually are. Like people that do things that are considered professional to try and seem like they're better. I don't like that. I hate professionality when people think, oh, you're better if you act more professional. That is not true.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. And the thing is, people will see through, the bullshit, so to speak. If you're if you're trying to try too hard and trying to be someone that you're not, or you're trying to be too professional, there's got to be that balance, hasn't there, in between where you're comfortable in yourself and you're just being yourself, and people will admire you more for that, rather than trying to be like somebody else. And I think you can kind of see through that sometimes. And I've seen that on, do you use LinkedIn, the platform LinkedIn?
Yeah, yeah. I have definitely seen people that are just a little bit too flashy on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I've noticed on there quite a lot. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm just myself, and I post like YouTube links. I've posted music videos that I like. I'll share whatever comes to mind. I'm not trying to do it, trying to prove something. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you see
Well,
that.
you found me on LinkedIn, I think. That's how we
Yes,
first, yeah.
yeah, we connected on LinkedIn, didn't we? And then I think we then went onto Instagram. But yeah, I mean, you just got to be yourself, and you got to just. I think that's what some people struggle with. Trying to work out how to be. People compare themselves a lot, probably, to you know the next person, especially probably in music. There's a lot of competition in music, I suppose, and you
Yes.
know Justin Bieber's Justin Bieber. If you're trying to be like that, it's going to be quite obvious.
If you make one song that sounds like someone else, people will let you know about it. They'll be like, "Oh, you sound like him. You sound like whoever."
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
certainly. I
you
think that's
can
what.
you can either like take that as a compliment or do something bad with it.
Yeah, that's it. And I think like the music that your friend is doing is very like unique, and um, from the footage so far that I've seen, it's like your own style with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very new style, but it's it's soon to become not unique because I mean the people that are doing this type of stuff are becoming more and more popular.
Mm, yeah. Is there anyone that you kind of like look up to in that kind of field of music?
In terms
Anyone
of
that you like,
artists,
artist
yeah,
wise, yeah, or anyone you
yes.
kind of take inspiration from?
Ian Dior, Poor Stacy, uh, most of the people at Internet Money, they're a big record label. Um, but Ian Dior and Poor Stacy are
Mm,
some of the biggest ones that a lot
yeah.
of people know. Uh, like Ian Dior has a song with Lil Baby. You know who
All
Lil
right. Yeah.
Baby is, right? Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not missing out on too much over in the UK.
No. Yeah. I'm quite into music, and my taste in music is quite varied. So I mean, I'm quite open to like new singers and performers and artists.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah,
I
so
fit.
Ian Dior is the mainstream representation of our genre.
Mm, that's awesome, and I think like with music, it's always good to be open, isn't it? And to take interest in it, because as well, I think like underrated artists, I quite like it when someone's underrated and not really in the limelight too much, but they're very, very good. And sometimes it just takes that little spark of somebody to recognize them, to then give them that deal or recognition. Like who was it? I remember Joyner Lucas. You know Joyner Lucas.
I do know who he is. I rarely listen to his stuff, but I have.
His music. I was watching him on YouTube, and he does hip hop. And I remember looking at his videos and thinking, God, this guy's amazing. Before he kind of made it big, and I remember like once he hit it, the views started going up and everything else, and it's quite amazing to see because it just shows like with you and your friend and what you're creating, you know, it's that build, isn't it, and that process, and that momentum that you're building through doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a long time.
Yeah. Have you always wanted to go into music? Like, kind of what made you get into like, music management and things like this?
Um, well, first of all, I would never have ever done it if I didn't like business.
Yeah.
Since I was in like first grade, I have liked business. I've always wanted to be a businessman. I never knew what I wanted to do, but you know, I always just, I mean, like every kid does have dream about being the richest person in the world, right?
Mm.
So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do business. I didn't care what it was. I just uh, running a business seemed cool. Managing things, buying and selling things, and having power seemed nice. And then, and I was always like, I always thought it would be cool to do something while young because I really looked up to other kids that had successfully done things while they were my age.
Mm.
And then the opportunity presented itself when Craig told me he wanted to be an artist. And I said, okay, I'll be the manager. And then
Yeah.
I formed a record company. And then I realized, oh, this is a business. Like, this is what I've wanted to do. So
Mm.
now I can start building my power, and now I can start making connections and being the boss that I always wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's happening right now.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was kind of cool.
Mm.
It's very cool.
Mm.
And so my goal is to have enough power and leverage and whatever so I can do whatever I think is cool, because there are many, many, many other things that I think are cool besides this. I think
Mm.
so many things are cool. And so I want to kind of be a little bit like Elon Musk, where it seems to me like he just does whatever is cool. He wanted music directly streamed to your brain, hired a bunch of scientists and did it. He
Yeah.
wanted to make a rail transport system, an underground transport system in Los Angeles, formed the Boring Company, and he did it. I
Mm.
guess I very much look up to that.
Mm.
So that's my goal.
Yeah. No, definitely, and I think that's how like that's the beauty of like being a person, isn't it? Like if you manifest something, you believe in yourself enough that something's going to work out, then you'll make the necessary steps to get that thing to work out. Like through trial and error, and you see it through. And I think some of his things are quite controversial, but like I saw that thing he did recently with the chip. Like he's implanted that chip into that pig, and
Yes. Uh-huh.
that's a bit crazy. But I can kind of see where he's going with it. Like I can kind of see what he's trying to do with that because he said it can trying to replicate, the brain and the wiring and but like I think with AI there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of unknown about it, but he's blasting rockets off into space, so then again there's always going to be that what if with anything new, isn't there? So but yeah, I mean, to believe in yourself as a person and just to try things out, follow what you're passionate about and want to be successful in life. I think they're important things, and sometimes some people don't want that, which is fine. But I think like you've got to do ultimately what makes you happy, haven't you? And that success will come with it if you follow that through, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Well, that's definitely what prevents a lot of people from doing it, really, because when you're actually doing something, like whatever you're doing at the very moment, the grass is always greener on the other side. So it always, because you're not seeing the work that the other people are doing, when you have to do the work yourself, you think, oh, everything else is easier. This is literally the hardest thing. And then when you go over to the other thing, you see all the work that you have to do. And you think, oh, this is literally the hardest thing. And so that's why it's hard for people to do what they like, because everything seems easier. And I mean, sometimes I feel the same way. I feel, oh, what if I did this? This seems so much easier than what I do already. Like, all you have to do is this and this. And I just know if I went and tried it, it would be a lot harder than I actually think it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think as well, like, you don't want that regret of not trying that thing out. That's far worse, isn't it? Not trying something that you perhaps thought about doing and then being like 10 or 20 or 30 years later, oh, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Which,
Regret
I mean,
is
yeah.
bad. Nobody likes regret.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the only regret I have so far is selling my Pokemon cards many years ago, and now they're worth a lot of money on
Did you have first editions?
Yeah, I had all of them.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You had every first edition, you're saying?
Not every single one, but I had a lot. I had all the legendary birds, dogs, shinies, ancient Mew. I had the whole collection. I sold them on a
That
car boot.
sucks.
Yeah, but
That
like
sucks.
you it's life, isn't it? You have to just move forward, and at the time you don't know, do you? Sometimes, but yeah, that's the only kind of like thing that I regret. But it's okay.
Well, because of Gary Vee and everybody else talking about it right now, I've decided to get into sports cards.
Yeah, I am. Me and my friends are getting into NBA. So I recently got NBA sports cards off eBay.
Are British sports cards not as good?
We have Panini foot like soccer, so you call it soccer, but we have
Yeah,
like the FA Cup cards and stickers and things like
but
that.
do they have the same value as the NBA cards?
They're not the same.
Yeah. Well, here's my. I just found something on Facebook Marketplace.
He's getting them out. What is this?
I bought this whole box plus thousands of others for just $45.
What?
They're all from 1999. So I'm trying to sort through them and find some winners.
$45 for all of that.
Well, no, there were two boxes, and this is the smaller box.
That's a smaller box for $45,
Yes.
and you got. Oh my days!
But it's harder than you think to profit, because either you find winners, which are hard to find, right? They have to be the really star players or the players that are dead now, sadly. Those are the most expensive ones. Like some of the most valuable ones I've found are the Kobe Bryant cards in here.
They're in that box.
There are some, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And then the people that are still like famous, like Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal. So it's kind of hard to find winners. But the other solution is selling them in sets, which is they're hard to sell. It's much easier to sell individual cards.
Yeah, the problem is, like, the problem I'm facing at the minute with my friend's got into collecting them as well. But the thing is, you have grading companies. If people aren't aware of sports cards who are listening, is that the condition of the card and the value of it is like a grading system, and there are companies
Yes.
which grade these sports cards, and
Yes.
you have to post them off, and they get graded. But because I'm in the United Kingdom, I don't think there are grading companies here, but it can take up to 3 to 4 weeks, if not longer, to get your cards back.
Yeah. Yeah. Grading is hard because it's a little bit like gambling. I have a card and I know if it grades, I mean, it looks pretty good to me. And I know if it grades PSA 9 or higher, then the grading will be profitable. But if it doesn't, I've just wasted money grading it. And if it grades
Yeah,
PSA 8 or lower, then it will literally sell for less than what it would if it wasn't graded. And I just said it was mint.
yeah, it is a bit like stocks and shares, isn't it? And it's a real investment in sports cards and trading cards, like massively now. And it's a bit like, if that player's playing well, then the value goes up. Things like that.
Yeah.
I'm still learning about it with my friend, and he will send me links sometimes. And I saw, is it Zion Williams,
Zion Williamson, yeah.
Zion. I saw a card for like 4 grand.
Yeah, they go higher than that, for sure.
It's pretty crazy, and like I got a few bargains off eBay. I got like a Michael Jordan one, like in a vintage Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan one for a couple of pounds. I haven't got any graded ones, but I've got them in like the sealed plastic packets.
Yeah,
I've got quite a few Ben Simmons.
yeah.
Ben Simmons. I've got LeBron, 2 or 3 LeBron James. So I've got a few I think that are pretty rare and good, but I like it. It's a hobby, isn't it? And I think it's good to have a hobby on the side like that. It's quite fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've
It's
got a
pretty fun.
bargain right there. You've got a bargain right there for $45. That's crazy.
Yes, but lots of work goes into this. I have to sort through all of them. So I
Yeah.
have like this big table and it just takes over the whole table. I make different stacks of the different types of cards. And then as I'm going through, I'm looking for big names.
That's awesome. That's good, man.
Yeah, it's a nice way to occupy my time instead of laying down. I can be sorting cards, and it's
Yeah.
something where it's fun, but it's still not like energy draining,
No, that's it. Yeah,
and it makes me money.
yeah, that's it. And my friend sends me links to like some of these Pokemon cards. I'm like, oh, I used to have this card. He sends me like a Charizard, a shiny Charizard that sold for 200 quid or something.
Yeah,
I'm like, don't send me them anymore.
I really want. When I first heard about cards, I was like, well, I never knew anything about sports. I've literally never owned a sports card in my life. I don't, even though I've played football, I don't like watching pretty much any sport, really, besides like the soccer World Cup. That's literally one of the only sports I will ever watch.
Yeah, yeah,
And like March Madness. Those are the only sporting events I ever watch.
yeah.
You know March Madness?
Now I've got a clue.
It's college basketball. So
College basketball and football is massive in America, isn't it? Like,
oh
I
yeah,
when I
yeah,
went to New York with my friend, it was in
yes.
some bar, and it was a basketball team, and these 2 ladies were like cheering on this team, and I was like, "Who is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's so and so college from where I'm from," and I was like,
There
"College?"
are a lot of people that they like college better than the professional leagues.
Yeah, it's insane. There's some big money in that game of things.
Yeah. Well, what was I saying?
You
Oh,
write cards.
yeah, March Madness. I like that. It's Division 1 college basketball,
Mm.
and that's all that I watch. So when I heard about Pokemon cards, I was like, oh, like I've seen Pokemon, I've watched the show, I've played some of the games. I used to have some of the cards. I just like it so much better. I love Pokemon. It's so cool. So I was excited about that. But when I went on to, you know, all the places where I could find a bunch of cards, like in bulk, like I have here, they were all sports cards. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to deal with sports
Yeah.
cards, but I did. I was hoping to find, someone that was selling their first edition Pokemon cards for $20 because they didn't know what they were. But
Yeah.
I'll learn
No,
about
it's
sports cards this way. Then maybe I'll get into
yeah.
sports cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of time you have to research into it. I mean, my friend sent me some Gary Vee videos, which go on for like 2 hours, where he's talking about sports cards and the grading systems and things like that. You have to have that bit of time on the side where you can just invest it into it, because it is an investment of your time, it's an investment of your money, um, and it's quite a big thing now. I think it'll be sports cards have always been quite collectible and quite popular, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in this space.
Yeah.
But do you have like any? I remember saying to you like any favorite books that you like to read?
So I have not been reading a lot recently. Let me look up
No.
my bookshelf. I honestly do not know right now. I think all of my favorite books I talked about last time.
Oh yeah, yeah, you did. I think yeah.
Deep Work, The Godfather, all those.
Yeah.
I really should be reading more right now.
No, I've been reading it like when I can, when I have time. Um, like in terms of like role models, you like role models. Like whether that's professionally, personally, people you like look
Yeah,
up to.
yes, obviously Gary Vee, but
Yeah.
everybody would say him, so I don't really like to say that. Obviously Elon Musk, but again, that's cliche. I like Casey Adams a lot.
Mm,
You know who he is?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he has a podcast called Rise of the Young, and I like him because he's young, and I mean, he really talks about how young people can do things, which
Mm,
I'm a young person, and so I definitely relate the most to him. It's hard to relate to Gary Vee and all those other people that are 40, 30
mm,
years
mm.
old, because I'm not 40 or 30 years old. I'm very youthful, and even though some of those people act pretty youthful, they're
Yeah.
nothing like Casey Adams. He just reminds me a lot of myself.
Mm,
And let me think of more people. There is this one person, I don't know her name. She's the founder of Sirius XM. You know that,
oh, the
the satellite radio?
radio
Yes.
station. Yeah.
But she has done so many other things, and I don't know too much about her, but she's really cool because, similar to Elon Musk, she just does whatever she wants, whatever she thinks is cool, or like
Mm,
whatever she sets her mind to. Like, she invented satellite radio, and then right after that, her daughter had cancer, I think, so she went and started like a biomedical company and developed some cool thing. Like, she just does whatever she wants, and that's what I want to do.
yeah. No, that's it, isn't it? I think that's amazing, and I think like it's good to have this kind of role models like that. Especially like Gary Vee. He does Vayner Sports, Vayner Gaming. You know, Vayner Media. He's Wine Library. Um, with Empathy Wines, which I think he kind of sold or he kind of had some deal recently. And as well, like I was watching a motivational video of Kevin Hart, the comedian, and he was talking. He's very motivational, and he was saying like, if your life was a book, you're writing a book, what's your book look like? You know, what do you want your book to look like? And he was saying, you know, he wrote a book, and he was like, I got a, you know, New York Times bestseller. He's like, why not 2-time New York bestseller? You know, I want to start a company. You know, why don't I just, you know, start a publishing company, and then something else? And I think like that's, you know, quite inspiring, isn't it? Because you know, those people are going with their gut and they're following through what's you know, going on in them and their happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. Just doing whatever you set your mind to is amazing.
Yeah. No, that's it. I find, you know, I think it's really motivational what you're doing, you know, and your friend, Crepe, and, you know, the work that you guys are doing, you know, and you're following something that you're both passionate about, and you're putting in the work and you're doing it. And, you know, like I believe, you know, you know, over time it will just build, and you'll both, you know, you're both doing well now, but I'm saying like in the future you'll both, you know, be on television and things like that. And I wish you all the best for
That's
what you're doing.
that's the goal, and I know
Yeah,
that will happen in time.
yeah. Yeah. No, exactly, man.
Well, yeah,
But
thank you for having me.
no, you're welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to say at all? Or you're good?
Not right now. I think we talked about it all.
Yeah. But no, it's been great talking to you again, PJ. And where can people find you on social media? On Instagram?
Yeah, PROUSCHE. You can find me like that on other platforms too. TikTok, watch my TikToks. Uh, Twitter, PJ Roche, same thing, but with a J after the P. And yeah, that's where I am.
No, sweet man. But no, it's good to connect again, and really great talking to you. And I wish you all the best in what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Adam. Have a
No, you're
great day.
welcome. Yeah, you too. Take it easy, man. Bye.